participating non-Sakitita conference here in Malaysia. I'm going to talk on opportunities and challenges of Buddhist women in Nepal. Introduction. After the revival of Theravada Buddhism in Kathmandu on 1990 AD, led Sangha Mahanayaka Pragyananda Mastavira opened the door of ordination for Nepalese Buddhist women in 1931 AD by allowing 3 pioneer Buddhist women of Nepal at the compassionate hands of the great Burmese monk U Chandramani Mahathera at Kushinagar, India. They are Sisters Ratnapali, Dhammapali and Sangapali, who was the first historical Nepalese Buddhist woman in modern Nepalese history, who were ordained as a Buddhist nun at that time as Anagarikas. Today, we have in Nepal 145 Buddhist nuns spread out in 32 Buddhist nunneries practicing Buddhism, out of which currently 26 sisters are studying Buddhism abroad in various Buddhist institutions like Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Taiwan and India. Venerable Dhammawati is currently the chairperson of Nepalese Victory Sangha. 3 categories of Buddhist women. Buddhist women in Nepal are categorized in 3 at present. They are number 8, young Buddhist sisters studying Buddhism in various pariyati, spiritual study centers and institutions, schools, colleges and universities. Number B, young and adult educated nuns actively engaged in Buddhist education and meditation in various Buddhist monasteries, centers, schools and institutions by teaching Buddhist courses and Buddhist meditation besides self-practice and meditation. Number C, aged and commonly literate Buddhist nuns actively engaged in general religious activities and practicing Buddhism for peace and religious progress in life. The responsibility of propagation and promotion of the Dhamma and its extension in largely being borne by the sisters of category G, mentioned above. Although all the 3 schools of Buddhism, such as Theravada, Mahayana and Vajrayana, are prevalent in Nepal, Buddhist nuns belonging to Theravada school can be currently seen to be more active in the task of the promotion of religious activities through various means such as number 1, teaching Buddhist pariyati courses in monasteries, schools, colleges and pariyati centers. 2, preaching the Dhamma in monasteries. 3, writing and publishing Buddhist books and articles in magazines on Buddhism. 4, imparting Buddhist meditation to the aspirants. 5, promotion health awareness through activities related to health services. And number 6, propagation of the Dhamma through schools, education, etc. Opportunities for the Buddhist woman. Revival of Buddhism and democracy. Generally, after the revival of Theravada Buddhism in Nepal, and more particularly after establishment of democracy in 1951 AD, and constant growth and subsequent development of education sector for women as well, the tradition varies of women's limitation to household activities and domestic helping hands only have been actively broken up, thereby leaving them relatively more free to pursue educational activities of their choice, join government and non-government and private jobs careers for economic independence, engage in religious activities more comfortably as per their will, and lead even more monastic lives as Buddhist nuns and sisters more freely. Growth in pariyati centers. The trend of constant growth in the number of Buddhist pariyati education centers in schools monasteries and nunneries in Nepal have also opened new opportunities for the Nepalese educated Buddhist women to play increasing role in their contribution to the Dhamma and development of their own personality. Establishment of new Buddhist higher education facilities. With the starting of postgraduate diploma and post-graduation degree courses in Nepal, oldest university, Tribhuvan University, recently and subsequently trained up establishment of Buddhist higher studies at undergraduate level in some colleges. More opportunities of higher education have now become open to Buddhist women. Besides the recent establishment of Lumbini University too, although at its formative stage at present, it is set to open door of such opportunities in near future. So, Buddhist women pursuing higher education on Buddhism have now started getting new opportunities of learning and teaching Dhamma in various capacities in these institutions. Recent political development in Nepal. Recent declaration of secular state by newly reinstated House of Representatives of Nepal with the restoration of full democracy in Nepal as the result of 19 days long mass movement against the king's direct rule by the Royal Proclamation of April 24, Nepal has started seeing new spectacular development in political field. Since the recently reinstated House of Representatives of Nepal has declared Nepal as a secular state by questioning the provision of Hindu kingdom, Nepalese Buddhists now have become more free to move ahead in the promotional activities of Buddhism. This has provided new opportunities to the Buddhists of Nepal. So, we can now devise and develop new ways and means for the promotion of Dhamma in Nepal. Challenges being faced by modern women in Nepal. Number one, with the collapse of age-old feudalistic economic based on the landed property and income, modern women are increasingly bound to take up official jobs for economy, self-reliance, besides other usual traditional burden of learning housekeeping responsibilities, leading to growing limitation of their space time for religious activities and creative Dhamma propagation activities. This has made their life increasingly harder and more competitive. Number two, they have to work now on the tabletop of mentioning fine balance on the maintenance of old age, Asian cultural tradition of the society, and adoption of the modern lifestyle, which have made their life increasingly more difficult and complicated. Number three, since the religious sector in general has not yet been covered by new fundamental technological improvements in the field of style of imparting Buddhist education and Dhamma preaching style, in tune with marvelous development in socio-economic and political fields, the Buddhist monasteries and nunneries are generally more often visited by children and old people, and youths or young generation do hardly find any worthwhile attraction in these religious activities in the absence of appropriate style and suitable creative programs benefiting the various age groups as desired by modern young generations. Number four, religious activities are generally more concentrated on individual development rather than on institutional growth and development. Number five, Buddhist nuns in Nepal have virtually no backing of any institutional economic support for pursuing their Buddhist studies and healthcare needs in the country and abroad. Besides their own personal saving, making them totally dependent on the individual charity of lay disciples for their study and healthcare needs. Conclusion. Although Nepal is the sacred birthplace of three Buddhas like Karpasanta, Gunagamana, and the present-day Sakyamuni Tathagata, we do not so far have any training institute or center for Nepalese Buddhist women and Buddhist nuns. Buddhist women in general and nuns in particular are now in dire need of specialized coaching in various fields such as leadership training, script writing, appropriate style of preaching.
Thank you for this important update on the pioneer nuns of Nepal. Our next speaker is also a pioneer. How many of you are aware of the million Buddhists in Bangladesh? Bangladesh, which was once entirely a Buddhist country, now has a population of less than 1 million Buddhists. Our next speaker is from the Marma tribal people of the Chittagong Hill Tracts. She is one of 3 young nuns, the first 3 nuns to be ordained in modern times, now studying in Thailand. Please welcome Mechi Ajaiman.
Respected Venerable Sir, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters in Dhamma, I am very happy to have the opportunity to come here to speak to you all today. You have listened to many Buddhist scholars and famous lecturers in Buddhism. I would like to talk a little bit about my own study at that nuns college in Thailand. Let me first introduce myself. My name is Ajayama Marma, and I am here together with my friends Mechi Pashu Marma and Mechi Umraji Marma. We are from Bangladesh and we came to Thailand in 2004 by that shower of Venerable Dr. Kalama Lekhtishimur. The reason for coming to Thailand was to study Buddhism, and we are now students at that Department of Religion and Philosophy at Mahaprajapati Theri Buddhist College. The course for the bachelor degree in Buddhism is for 4 years, and I am a 4-year student. Before we came to Thailand, Venerable Dr. Kalama Lekhtishimur had arranged for us to study with the nuns at Mahaprajapati Theri Buddhist College. The college is in Kuwait, and it is the first college for nuns in Lethumi in Thailand. Most of the teaching at that college is in Thailand. Before we all begin our studying, we had to learn the Thai language. That was not easy, but we dare have from the nuns and other Thai friends. We can now speak and retire. We went to study Buddhism because we would like to spread the Buddha's teachings in our country. We would like the people in Bangladesh to know what Buddhism really is. We would like them to practice meditation, to be happy and to be free from all suffering. By studying Buddhism, we have realized that the Buddha's teachings are very valuable, not only for distinct people, but for all human beings in the world. We think that Thailand is a good country to live in a time. People are very kind, but of course, we miss our families back in Bangladesh. And after we have completed our bachelor's degree. We are looking forward to going back home and visiting our families again. After I have graduated from Malaysia Tape10 College, my dream is to study for a master's degree in India. My family is for sure that cannot afford to pay for my study. I do not know if my dream will come true, but I will try to apply from Shaffer. I would like to talk this opportunity to say thank you to the Jamia Foundation and to Venerable Dr. Kalama Dekcheshimur, who supported studies for my friends and me have also supported us to come to Malaysia and meet you all here. I would also like to thank the teaching nuns from Malaysia Tape10 College. It is a great surprise from us to travel here to and see another country and to meet so many Dhamma friends. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is from America, Sunam Wangmo. Her ordained name is Tenzing Datin. She is from Bhutan. She has been studying at Jamyang Chilling Institute in Dharamsala for almost 10 years. As if that course in philosophy and debate weren't hard enough, on the side she went and got a bachelor's degree from Dharamsala College. So please welcome Sunam Wangmo.
Venerables, distinguished participants, and brothers and sisters in love. Today I'm here to speak on the women of the Himalayas, and I'm very happy to be. I'm very happy to talk in front of you all. Jamia was established by Venerable Lakshmi Samala in 1987 with only 2 nuns. Currently we have 107 nuns and we study Buddhist philosophy, Tibetan language, literature, poetry, English and Hindi. We have 7 different levels of classes. The beginning class is learning to read and write. Then we have basic logic class, Prashna Paramita, Madhyamika and so on. The highest class will finish their course of study in 2 years, after which they can take the Geshe exam, as His Holiness the Dalai Lama has said. We have lay women studying at our institute too. Our senior nuns were the first nuns to study Buddhist philosophy. We have nuns from all over the Himalayan region, Ladakh, Zanskar, Lahore, Spiti, Bhutan, Nepal, Sikkim, Darjeeling, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, and Tibet. These are the first nuns who started the study of Buddhist philosophy. They are also the first to start Jamyang Chilling Institute. This Jamyang Chilling nun is presently studying Tibetan medicine. She has finished 4-year studies of the theory of medicine, and now she will do a practical for a year to complete the course. Here are the nuns with teachers who teach Buddhist philosophy and Tibetan grammar. The teachers are very kind to teach the nuns. They have been at the institute since 1993. Now this is a monastery in Ladakh. This is the road to Zanskar. It takes 2 days to journey from Ladakh and the road is very dangerous. It gets carried away by glaciers for most of the year. Venerable lecturer showing the victory sign as they make their way to Zanskar, where the road is difficult to cross. Here the land is barren without trees, but the air is clean and the beauty is very natural. The glacier flows for most of the year, blocking the road. This makes it very difficult for people to travel. The children riding a pony entertain themselves, and this is also a means of travel. These are the women of Zanskar in their traditional dresses, wearing their jewelries. The jewelry is passed down to the oldest daughter of the family, and the rest of the daughters are free to enter monastic life. The oldest cannot because she has to hold the lineage and take care of the family house. So the jewelries. On the far right is the Queen of Sangla in Zanskar. The men are the princess, and the women in the center is the daughter-in-law. Though they are from the royal family, they're very humble. This is an old nun of Zanskar who did not get an opportunity to study. This is a Zangla Valley where the nunnery is situated. This nun went to Zanskar to Dharamsala to study. She's very kind and hardworking. Zangla nuns practicing debate for the first time. Behind them is the nunnery that the nuns use for prayer and other activities. An old nun with a cap that is very special for them. It is made from wool. A young nun who is currently studying in Ladakh, she plans to come back after studying and help new nuns in her own nunnery. These are the children with the monk teacher who now became nuns and are studying in the nunnery. A young girl is waiting to become nuns in a nunnery. The monks' monastery on the right has much land and many sponsors. The nuns' monastery on the left has no land or sponsors. It is very small compared to the monks' monastery. A view of the nunnery, though it is small, it is beautiful, and the nuns are happy and very sincere in their discipline and studies. The younger nuns are now getting opportunities to practice and study Buddhism. The old nuns who do not know how to read and write, but have great faith in the Dharma, they circumambulate the temple the whole day reciting mantras to purify themselves of delusions and free sentient beings from suffering. Their motivation is very pure, and this is very important in being Buddhist. This is a cute little nun who helps visitors carry light things like sleeping bags and so on. Nuns enjoy a photo session with the visitors. Young nuns look very happy to have their photos taken, and they are also very proud of those little flowers that they grow in front of their monastery. Yangchencholing Monastery is in Pangmo village, high in the Himalayan mountains. It has about 40 nuns studying both philosophy and ritual. Prayer flags are hung high and flutter in the wind. This is the gateway to the Pangmo Monastery, Yangchencholing Monastery. The nuns of Pangmo bear the cold winter with their caps and thick shawls. Every winter, transportation is completely cut off because of the snow. Communications with the outside world is difficult for the same reason. These are women of the Spiti. They're enjoying the stories of their elders. The younger women dance in the traditional way on special occasions. They are preserving their culture, which is passed to them from their elders. Young children learn to read and write from those who have been to school. They have no school facilities, and the teachers appointed by the government do not care about the future of the youngsters. The only thing that matters to them is money. So the children interested in studying and the parents who care about the children's education find someone to help them on their own. The nuns of Pangmo with Venerable Lakshila, the teacher who was in the cave, meditating and practicing for 14 years. For 2 hours, Venerable Lakshila requested him to come to the nunnery to teach the nuns, and finally he agreed. He taught for 6 years, and after that he said he taught whatever he knew, and he wants to go back to the cave. The nuns are very grateful to him because he was the first one to teach the nuns of Pangmo. We have 2 nuns from this nunnery attending the 9th Sakatita conference.
Thank you very much for sharing the lives of the women of the Himalayan region. Our next speaker is Venerable Bongak Sunim, whom many of us remember as the coordinator of the 8th Sankirtita conference held in Seoul. She is a professor of Buddhist studies at Jongang Sangha University. Please welcome Bongak Sunim.
I'm going to speak on the 8th Sankirtita Seoul, Korea at the 9th Sankirtita conference. I will summarize my paper. Page 1, Ryan. The 2004 Sankirtita conference was held in the Jongang Sangha University in Korea. I would like to share what has changed in Korean Buddhism since then. From my presentation today, Venerable Malaysia Tape10 thankfully recommended me to choose this topic. The 8th Sankirtita conference was a event that had smoothly made all the preparation works. The conference was hosted by the National Dictionary Assembly of the Korean Buddhist Order. Although the first day held on a Sunday, as many as 1,800 people from home and abroad packed the conference venue. We would not have achieved such a great success without the sacrifice, dedication of so many staffs and volunteers. We hope to communicate the joy and delight we had 2 years ago to the 9th Sankirtita conference. This year, let me show you some pictures taken during the conference. Please. Look at the presented pictures. Yes, Professor Lee Hansen.
This is the scenes from the opening ceremony. Different chantings from different traditions, and this is the Korean part. And drum performance by a group, Buddhist artists. And then actual presentations and workshops. This is the meditation and chanting sessions and workshops.
그래서 스피드지.
You may see some familiar faces here. Student nuns from Korean summer colleges. And then exhibitions and cultural programs. This is a wood print block of Tripitaka Koreana. And Buddhist paintings, flower arrangements, and other paper lanterns. And actually participants could have hands-on experience of drawing and other artistic activities related to the exhibitions. And then tea. You could see Venerable Myeongsang there. Now this is Samsohe, and members of the 3 different religious traditions have formed a kind of an organization, and they are singing here. And then this year they toured sacred places of those 3 religions together, and those traditions are one Buddhism, and Korean Buddhist Yoga Order nuns, and Anglican Church, and Catholic Church. I'm sorry, it was 4 different religions. And then both have performances. Korean Children's Choir. And the audiences were very happy. And then one day it was, we had a heavy rain, but despite the bad weather, a lot of members of the audience showed their very happy faces here. And this is a choir by student nuns, and there was temple visit program. You see some Japanese delegations. This is the hall of the National Association of Korean Buksunis. And this is the left one was Hain Temple that houses Koreana, Tripitaka Koreana, and actually the right one shows the nice wooden structure that was dedicated to preserving those blocks, wooden blocks. This is a World Cultural Heritage Site. This is actual print. And then welcoming performances. This is the Unmun Temple. Venerable Myeongsang is the dean of this Sangha College for nuns.
Just here, there.
She is right here among us. And this is Gyeongju, Bulguk Temple, and one of the famous pagodas there. Again, Bulguk Temple in Gyeongju, the ancient capital city of Shilla Kingdom. And then the closing ceremony.
Thank you very much. Speak in please. Taiwan? Taiwan? Oh.
Thank you for this beautiful presentation, and we look forward to talking with you more about what's happened since
About my paper, please my paper.
Thank you. Yes, you'll have copies of our paper that you can read. Our next presenter is Wangdak Rinpoche. Many of you are aware of the communist takeover of Tibet and the difficulties that Buddhists in Tibet have faced over the last 50 years. Underground and quietly and persistently, many Buddhists have continued to practice and to try to continue their cultural traditions. Wangdak Rinpoche will tell us about one community of nuns that has worked very hard to preserve their culture. Please welcome Wangdak Rinpoche.
약한 망고는 그래서 근로는 제일 고마운 거 되네 안에 탐제당 묵살 계좌로 봐게 되네 안에 그 거사서는 신나마다 다시 내려줘야요.
Rinpoche says to all of the participants of this Sakya International Buddhist Women's Conference, on behalf of all of the Buddhist nuns in Tibet, and in particular on behalf of Rinpoche's nuns at Gechak Nunnery in eastern Tibet, he offers his tashi today.
묵살 라누네 디 남바 고모 탐지지 동도 어제 좀해지네 소바를 소소는 라누네 다시 내려줘야요.
And in particular, Rinpoche extends his tashi delay to the organizers and the supporters that made this International Buddhist Women's Conference possible.
그래, 나랑 그 랑은 손나오고 간다기 놓으세요. 네, 약간 망고니 그때 근종 개바 정상지 분명히 그네 토탕은 그네 동한 용기 맹살그 그네 안에 담겨라 그네 동한 용기 그네 근종 망고지 근데 네 계좌 공부가 그네 내당 거대 살이 그네 희비 그네 보가 봐야 되나
Rinpoche feels to be here to have this opportunity to speak to all of the participants who are well educated, intelligent, capable, and who take an interest in the rights and situation of Buddhist women around the world. Rinpoche feels to have this opportunity to speak here. He's very fortunate and feels very happy. So Rinpoche's nunnery, Gechak Nunnery in eastern Tibet, was founded over 100 years ago.
And
nowadays there are over 300 nuns in this nunnery practicing.
공 대나무 요 집단 그냥 안에 담게 되는 야매지 걸 네 제기나 네 당고 권한서 안에가 행 당고 배우는데 네 용의 차야 로스선의 상황이
To explain the kind of practice that these nuns do, when the nuns first enter the nunnery, all of the nuns participate in a 3-year retreat where they practice 100 sets of Nyune, this 2-day Nyune fasting retreat of Avalokiteshvara.
인산이 되는 거랑 어떤 상황을 더하는데 그냥 이거만 나오면 더 편해. 일단 그거 하는 거 같으니 그래서 기는 많이 받게 조카 끼로 돌리지.
Once they've finished this 3-year retreat, then they enter into a very unique retreat system where there are 16 retreat houses or divisions.
조카 끼로 때 레디 나오는 거 안에 주변가 쪼개 받게 되고.
And in each retreat house there are about 16 or 17 nuns.
조카 때 아마가 네 기담들이 네 진에서가 네 지선 그만가 네 세바니 나서 조카를 내다 네 군사를 기담들이 유리.
Each retreat house is dedicated to a particular deity. So there are Buddha Chenrezig or Avalokiteshvara and Tara and Amitabha, and the nuns choose their particular deity.
이가 되는 거랑 또 아니 시당 네 아절 되는 건 이내 해요 말이죠. 이거는 좀 네 그거는 자장하는 좀 네, 영내 남는
In these retreat houses, the nuns, they never lie down. They stay all the time in a meditation box. And for their whole life, this is the way they stay. And then every year at this nunnery, there are 20 long pujas, or long prayer festivals, ceremonies. And these nuns practice very well, very purely. And on the basis of this, they attain ordinary and extraordinary accomplishments. As an example of one of the ordinary signs of their accomplishments, based on their practice of tsalung, of winds and channel yoga and meditation, then in the heart of Tibetan winter, very cold weather, these nuns will wear wet sheets that have been placed in water 4 times and soaked, and they wear these sheets and dry them off. And this kind of accomplishment is quite famous throughout Tibet, that these nuns are able to do this. And then these nuns, when the older nuns, many of them when they arrive at their death, and if they've been suffering from sickness or pain before, then they experience the pain and sickness falls away, and they have a very happy, joyful mind. And whichever deity they've been practicing, then they start to have visions and a completely pure perception. All impure perceptions completely falls away, and they just have this pure perception and these visions of their deity. And in this way, they pass away with a very joyful mind without any attachment to samsara or their current life. Rinpoche says that these kinds of accomplishments of the nuns in Gichet Nunnery, Rinpoche is not telling any false stories, that these are all really the case, and throughout Tibet that it's very well known.
알아서 랩 사지 공항 타요. 빠져고 이거 말이 알아서 은혜 그때 나랑 냠냠이 시
Rinpoche says that as Shakyamuni Buddha taught that one's social class and race, regardless of these differences, then based on our practice, that everything depends on one's practice, and otherwise we're equal. And Rinpoche says that if we really practice, that it's very much possible to attain these kinds of accomplishments. Rinpoche has experience of seeing this.
네, 맨날 이해가 되는 게 아니야. 근데 생기 함께 사진이 있어. 근데 보다 보면 근데 치발이가 사진 좀 내데 가능성이 없는 좀 가능해요.
In no text does it say that Rinpoche says that all beings have the Buddha nature, and in this way all beings can attain Buddhahood, and there's no text where it says differently than that.
그러나 이게 근데 보나가 네 기하마 근데 드라토스는 망고 요리 안에 담제 드라토스는 망고 시제요. 보나.
And then in Tibet nowadays there are many nuns that have attained realizations.
계좌가 나온다 안에 성자고에 가라위에서나 지금 그래도 이게 때문에 안에 담제되네 교육서야 하는 요 말이 안에 개바 담제게 되네 냥에가 나서다 제가 야고 지금 통하는데 이 코란서 생초도 봐네 그거 지나는 되네 쉬워요.
And the young nuns, when they enter the nunnery, they see the older nuns and the fruits that they attain and are very inspired to join.
Thank you, Rinpoche, for sharing the stories of these courageous women. Our apologies to everyone that the program has run a bit over. Perhaps we need to make some offerings to the gods of technology before our next session. But meanwhile, please proceed to take your lunch downstairs, and we will begin the afternoon session at 1. Remember that at 3 we will disperse and head for our programs at 3:15. So please be aware of the time. Enjoy your lunch. Thank you very much.
Once again, thank you very much. Please give a big applause for all the speakers. And Venerable Soma. Before the lunch time, there's a few announcements to make. Then please pay attention. Just now, somebody asking for the register for the temple tour from 22nd to 24th. You can go to the counter, the same counter that you.
Oh, yeah.
왔어 달리네.
저거 좋아.
아?
좋아.
Hãy subscribe cho kênh Ghiền Mì Gõ để không bỏ lỡ những video hấp dẫn.